Jill's Cookbook Club members, it was so thoughtful of you to choose the Oregon Farm Table Cookbook as your feature this month, and I so appreciate your support, and I know that all of the food artisans and farmers and food producers highlighted in the book appreciate it as well. So thank you so much for your support of Oregon farms and food. So Jill had a couple of questions from some of you that you wanted to have me talk about, and one of them was, what is the writing process like when writing a cookbook or the Oregon Farm Table Cookbook? Writing a cookbook is a long endeavor. It takes a lot of time. Both of my books took about 10 months to write. The Oregon Farm Table Cookbook was a little bit different because I had to interview all of the farmers and food artisans and food producers. So oftentimes my days looked like muck boots, walking through pastures, petting baby sheep and Highland cattle and picking berries or sipping a little wine. So my days in the beginning of the Oregon Farm Table Cookbook were really all about talking to our Oregon food producers and farmers and food artisans. So that was just great fun and exhilarating, actually. Once I gathered all of the information from my interviews, I went back to write the stories and then paired recipes with each story. Some recipes are new, and then some I've been making for years. I was a private chef, and I did a multitude of things in the culinary world. I was a prep cook, a cheese specialist, a private chef, and a culinary instructor. So over 10 years. So over the 10 years, I had gathered quite a few recipes, and so I used some of those. I created some new ones, and we came up with the Oregon Farm Table Cookbook. That paired with all of the photos, which I also took, and I put it together in a manuscript, and start to finish, it was about 10 months. I send the manuscript to my editor, and she goes through and makes sure that it is everything that they wanted. And, she'll send it back with a few, thoughts, maybe comments, a few corrections, and we'll kind of go back and forth on it a little bit. Then she sends that to the copy editor. The copy editor goes line by line by line and edits the entire book. They send it back to you in a lot of red ink, a lot. And I really wanted to cry the first time I got it back from the copy editor, but we want that because they're the professional that catches the typos or supposed to, and they catch the misspelled words, or maybe the salt and pepper in a recipe is in the wrong place. And so those are the people who catch those kinds of things. And they also make sure that the recipes are written according to the publisher's standards and the way they like their cookbooks produced. So they have a formula and standards. So they just make sure it all meets their formula and standards. So I get it back from the copy editor, and then I make changes as needed or negotiate changes, and then I send it back to the copy editor. We send it back, and then she sends it back maybe a second time. And we might do this 1, 2, or 3 times, depending on the book and the editor, the copy editor rather. Once the copy editor and I have agreed on the book is good to go, we have a final draft, we send it to the creative designer. And then when the creative designer gets it, they actually create the book, the pages of the book, and they assemble it and organize it and make it look really beautiful. Then we talk about the front cover photo. We talk about the back and what the back will encompass. We talk about the inside flaps, what they'll encompass. And so we kind of go back and forth, negotiate, talk about, and once we all come to agreement, we have what we call a clean copy, final draft. And when that gets signed off by the editor-in-chief, it goes to the publisher or to the printer. Then you have to wait for about 6 months after that, 3 to 6 months, depending on the publishing company. So start to finish, it's about 2 years per cookbook. Both of my cookbooks, it was about 2.5 years. I wrote both of them within a 5-year span. And that's actually quite aggressive. It was a lot of work, a lot of time spent, but overall it was really, really wonderful experience. I love that we have a book about Oregon farms and food, and I love that each of the farmers and food producers are so passionate about what they do, and that's truly what made the book so much fun. Another question was, what are some of my favorite recipes from the book? Well, that's really a hard question. It's like asking a parent which one of their children is their favorite. I really love all the recipes in this book. If I had to choose, however, there are some that I would choose more often. I love the lemon risotto with crispy mushroom gremolata. I also love the, oh goodness, it's the slow braised balsamic and herb chicken is really yummy. I make that during the winter. A couple recipes are just near and dear to my heart. The fennel and sausage carbonara is excellent. If you are just a little bit afraid of making a carbonara at home, I'm hopeful that I've walked through the steps clearly enough in this recipe that you'll be able to make it at home and it'll turn out great. It is one of my favorite recipes in the book. It's simple. It is just something I'll make on a weeknight. It feels very fresh and fragrant, so I hope you try that one. The other, oh goodness, again, there are so many. I really do love the salads in this book. Specifically, I love the blackberry and burrata salad. I also really love the shaved Brussels sprouts salad. That one is really delicious as well. Okay, so we have to talk shrimp, Oregon shrimp specifically, which is why I included the Oregon shrimp cakes with apricot ginger sauce. This is a simple recipe, but so flavorful, and I love to make it either for a dinner or when I'm entertaining. It's just fun. It's such a fun recipe, and it's a great way to use Oregon shrimp. The other recipes, there are so many, it's really hard to choose. I really love the broccoli and cheese pie. It's basically a crustless quiche. I make it when broccoli is in season and abundant at the farmers markets or at the farms, our local farms. It is cheesy and broccoli and delicious, and it really makes a great brunch recipe. Another one is, oh my goodness, I have so many. I really love the black bean soup with griddle cakes. That's a fall favorite. I really enjoy the roasted green bean salad with dried cherries, toasted pine nuts, and goat cheese. That's also another favorite of our families, especially during the summer when green beans are in season. Let's see, what else do I have here? Okay, so let's talk salmon. I do have several salmon recipes in here because, we eat a lot of salmon here in Oregon. The salmon Florentine is lovely. It's also one of my family favorites. I use fresh spinach, or sometimes I'll even use frozen spinach. But it's a quick, easy, kind of indulgent recipe with salmon. I really love that. My children, their favorite chicken recipe in the book is the one-pan spicy maple chicken thighs. And I have to say, you can't go wrong with this dish, especially on a weeknight. I love the roasted pork tenderloin with spiced dried plum sauce. That's another really beautiful recipe. It's simple, but so flavorful, and it really highlights the flavors of the fall and winter season. Okay, one last one here. I love them all, but the grilled flank steak with sauteed blueberries, shallots, and blue cheese, that might just have to be one of my personal favorites. Thank you again for featuring the Oregon Farm Table Cookbook for your June cookbook dinner. I really appreciate it. I hope that the cookbook inspires you to not only cook at home, but to also venture out and explore the beautiful farms and food producers that we have here in Oregon. Thank you again.